farm embodies hard work, dedication, stewardship.
Just the work ethic, and the stewardship ethic.
Sweat equity, dedication, the amount of hard work that's gone into this farm is incredible.
By and large, the highest percentage of our land is owned by private individuals and families like the Brammers here. And I think it's really important that if we want to have the forest products industry, if we want healthy wildlife populations, if we want clean air and clean water, we really need to keep a lot of this land in forest. And there are lots of threats out there. And so having active management to be able to stem the tide and be able to keep control of this stuff, I think is important. So these active landowners, these managers like the tree farmers and the Brammers are really important so that we have healthy forests for future generations.
The responsibility of owning land and making it better, it's just, they're just amazing.
Working with the Brammer family, they're just old school, they work hard, they're kind of salt of the earth people that worked hard for their entire life on this property.
I'm Jim Brammer.
I'm his brother Randall.
From day one we had all these trees and we and talked what we were going to do with them, so pretty much just decided that turn this into a tree farm, and if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. When we first started out, the neighbor had brought people in. They were in the neighbor's woods, and they walked our farm and said our timber was ready to cut. Brought a local lumberman in, and he said it wasn't ready to cut, so that's when we pretty much went to the Division of Forestry.
Well, it's been a lot of years ago, probably 30 years ago, that I started working with the Brammer family. And, when I get out here, you could just tell that they were wise enough to know that they didn't really know what to do, but they knew really what they had to do with the woods. And so they were wise enough to get hold of a forester and
got their unbiased opinion of whether our trees were prime to cut or not. And they needed a selected cut. So actually the first timber cut we had was a selected cut.
We started out looking at a timber sale because there had been a logger out here that wanted to buy the timber, and they were wise enough to know that they needed help and guidance in choosing which trees were going to stay and which ones were going to get harvested. And when I came out to mark the timber with them, they went with me every step of the way, helping to choose the trees. They were that hands-on. For me, it was just exciting to find, a private landowner that would get out there and get their hands dirty and do the work themselves.
From there on, we got a lot of, advice from the Division of Forestry to take care of our trees and do it right, instead of coming and clear cutting it and taking trees that weren't ready and whatnot.
The things that they've done over the years that we as foresters recommend and have been things like grapevine control, and then the timber harvesting. It's been kind of a conservative harvesting over the years, and that fit with how they feel about not radically changing the property. But now things are changing a bit with the fact that we've got some oak wilt going on with the property.
So oak wilt is a deadly pathogen that can kill oak trees within 6 weeks of transmission into that tree. Oak wilt is a fungus that blocks the vascular tissue of the tree and restricts water from moving from the root systems up into the canopy. You can really see it going through the stand, and it starts from the top of the tree and it works its way down usually. And then it also starts at the top of the leaf and works its way from the lobes and the margins inward and downward. And that's one great way you'll be able to see it, because it'll defoliate the tree within 6 weeks. The aerial portion of the tree will be completely dead, and you'll be able to see it in the leaves. With oak wilt, we've kind of had to change what they've been doing on this farm. Instead of focusing on just regenerating all the oak and doing oak management, we've focused on more of a white oak approach, leaving all the white oak we can for regeneration and reducing the amount of red oak in the property. Red oak is more susceptible to oak wilt because it doesn't usually go through the process of tyloses. White oaks are very good at blocking disease off and stopping it from moving throughout its system. That tyloses is why we can have whiskey barrels and wine barrels. It makes the tree watertight, whereas if you were to put wine or whiskey in a red oak barrel, it'd be on the floor in a matter of days. So that's one of the reasons why it can spread through red oak so fast.
My name is James Brammer. My dad is Jim Brammer. I am the forester for Ohio Edison up in Youngstown, Ohio. This farm was a big influence in my life as far as going into forestry. It was huge. You know, we back when I was still in high school, we did a logging operation. I think it was 1992, so it put me as a sophomore in high school. And that project basically really made my decision clear, what I wanted to do, working with the state forester and just seeing what went into forestry and logging in general, and just knowing the whole operation and see what went behind, you know, sustainable forestry and what that was all about. So huge.
In 1995, I had the opportunity to teach as a forestry instructor at Hocking College. And James Brammer was one of my students at that time. And it's so interesting and it's so neat to see how some of my former students have worked their way and stayed in the career and kept an interest in forestry and forest management. So I'd like to think that in some small way, the education and some of the things that James learned at Hocking College has had an influence on the Brammers and their ability to become Ohio's Tree Farmer of the Year.
The Brammer family has done so many different things on their property. They work so hard. They're so dedicated to what they do. Not only do they listen to the forester, they're there every step of the way, talking with us, trying to understand why they should be doing what they do. They're just some of the best landowners I've ever come across, and they're very deserving of becoming Ohio's 2020 Tree Farmers of the Year.
You know, seeing them win the award has been really satisfying. Kind of made me reflect a little bit. Why didn't I put them up for the award?
When I heard that we received the 2020 Tree Farmers of the Year award, it just felt a great honor. It's an awesome thing to achieve, and to see my family that works so hard. My dad and my uncle put so much time in out here. It was just a great honor to hear that we received that award.
Shocked. Amazed. I mean, I guess we never realized how much work we've done over the years till it was laid down in black and white.
Yeah.
The different projects we've done over the years added up to a lot more than what we sit around and think about. You know, it's just like, wow, we did all that.
You look at it year to year, it don't look like much, but when you start adding 25 years plus into the factor, it's
Yeah.
a lot more than gee.
Yeah.
Where do I find all that free time, huh?
Like I said, when I found out, I just was in disbelief probably about 15 minutes, and I finally got up off the floor and went in and told my wife, and we both kind of just a little celebration. So it was, and she kept telling me, you deserve it, and I'm thinking, oh, it just, like I said, solidified all the stuff that we've been doing over the years. It's working.
They're so humble. You know, they always impressed me as being the type of people that just did it just because it was the right thing to do. And it was the right thing for their family and their future families and everything, and for the memory of their father. But, you know, the current service forester, Ryan Klester, did a good job of recognizing that, you know, these people are pretty special, you know, and they really deserve an award of this type.
We talked about the labor and the fruits of the labor and everything that we've been doing over the years, but there's just more things for the family than just work. The recreational end is great too. We have the lake for kayaking, fishing, swimming. We have trails. Heaven only knows how many miles of trails for the four-wheelers. It's just always come up with something different to do out here. You know, we have 157 acres here, so pretty much everybody can find something to do that they're interested in.
We enjoy, hunting out here too. So we have, it's multi-purpose. Of course, fishing in the lake and get a lot of use out of it.
We always were hunters. I started real young hunting out here with my dad, squirrel hunting, things like that. And we've always had four-wheelers from the time I can remember. And fishing, we had the pond and everything like that. So, we've always just been out here. It's not always work.
Just little things like that, just without this, we wouldn't be able to do with the family, and share it with them. And, just the stuff that we do together really appreciate having this area. And everybody's not like dragging them somewhere. They're anxious to get here. And that's a big thing too, so.
I got 3 great grandsons which enjoy everything out here. Our children and, grandchildren, now great grandchildren. So, just keep adding on.
Yeah.
Fortunate to have two kids that I can bring down here. They all love the forest as much as I did back then, and to each their own. Everyone loves the property and different aspects of these woods. So it's really good to see the kids enjoying it like I did and like I still do.
Very appreciative of that, to get the recognition, and we just want to do what's best for the farm and for the land, and it's not so much for me and Jim here, it's for our kids, the grandkids.
The whole farm will be here for everybody to enjoy. That's what we want to see more than anything.
This whole property has been a huge influence on my being who I am, really. I just, if I'm not out here with friends, family, or working, I'm out here by myself, just walking in the woods, sitting down at the beaver ponds, just watching nature. And I've always had that. I'm very fortunate I can say that. A lot of people don't, but sometimes I overlook the fact that this is here, and I forget where my roots are, and I love just coming back down here and staying for the long weekend and just chilling out.
Yeah, like I said, we're into the 3rd generation of Brammers being here, so it's just it's a real good feeling knowing that we've took the time to set it up for our grandkids and great grandkids and whatnot. It's just to get them out here and get them off their cell phones and out here in the woods.
Yeah.
And try to learn a few things from us, like we've learned from other people, that there's more to woods than just looking at the trees. You got to work with them. So it's hopefully it's been quite a learning experience for us.
Yeah, very
and
much.
I hope that we can put that on down through the family tree, that get out here and enjoy it, but get out here and work it too. That's the main thing. That it don't take care of itself. Mother Nature does a pretty good job, but you got to put some effort in. So.
It's just good to seeing them carrying on what we've done for the last 30, 40 years. It's to me, it's rewarding. It's just a whole generational thing that we'd like to see carried on. We really try to instill that in them. This is for all of you. It's the family as a whole unit, working together and doing what's best, and they're doing it right.